Welcome to GKey Solutions Private Limited.
SQL Server Integration Services, classes and real-time interview questions and answers. Part 45. How to use stored procedure and pass input parameters using variables in SSIS. In this part of training, we are going to discuss about how to use stored procedure and pass input parameters using variables in SSIS. You do this with variables, execute SQL task and OLDB source by mapping variables to the stored procedure parameters. I'll show you the most common way, that is execute SQL task, and then quickly how to do it in data flow. Let us see these things practically in SSIS. I'm just trying to create a new package. I'm trying to rename the package as SP package, stored procedure package. To do that, first we have to create a stored procedure. I have created a stored procedure on the table called DIN geography. Here DIN geography is having distinct English country region names, like 6 names. Based on these 6 names, we are going to create a different files. For that, what I have done is I have created a stored procedure. Here I am selecting star from table where region name is country name. For example, if you pass Australia, it will filter the Australia data. If you pass Canada, if you pass France, something like that, it will get the data for the particular country name. In such a way, we'll get the data for the particular name, and we try to create 6 different files in our locations. This is how we are going to do in our SSIS package. To execute for particular country name, this is the command that we are using based on this stored procedure that I have created. This has to be dynamic in SSIS package. For that, we have to create variables. First, what we have to do is we have to get the distinct values from this table, that is DIN geography. For that, what I'm going to do is I'll be taking execute SQL task. In execute SQL task, before getting it to it, I have to create a couple of variables here. First one would be object countries. Object country names is first a variable, and for this data type would be object. It is going to store the more than one values in object data type. And second one would be country name. Third one would be folder path. Folder path also. For country name, what I'm giving is a string. For now, I'm taking Australia. For initializing this country name variable, I'm just taking Australia, and folder path would be D files. Here we are going to create different files for different countries. The data type would be string for this. Here D files. And now I'm trying to configure this execute SQL task. Here in the connections, I'm just trying to make a connection to AdventureWorks. I'll delete and I'll show you from the beginning. Here in database, we have to take the server name. I'm taking the server name from here. I'm putting it here. And in drop down, what are the different databases having this server is shown here. Our table is in AdventureWorks DW 2019. I'm taking it. The connection succeeded, and I'm taking this connection. Here we have to put the query for getting distinct country names. This query will fetch the distinct country names here. And coming to the result set, we are putting the values that are getting from that query in full result set. And in full result set, I'm trying to add here that result set will be given to country name, like object country name. These 6 country names are going to be given to the object country name variable that we have created by using object data type. Now execute SQL task is been configured. Now I'm taking for each loop container. I'm trying to configure the for each loop. Here, first what we are doing is getting distinct countries. And in second step, what we are trying to do is we are trying to take for each ADO enumerator. For each ADO enumerator is going to have ADO object source variable. Now we are taking this object country names variable. Here it will iterate through different country names. We are mapping that thing to the variable called country name. Each time, for each iteration, the country name is going to be given to the country name variable that we have created in the beginning. For each iteration, each country is going to be given to this. Based on that, the file is going to be created. Now we are going to configure the remaining things. And now to get into the data flow task, I have to create another variable, which is SQL query. Here SQL query I am taking for this data type is string. In expressions, what I am trying to do is here, this is the execute procedure thing that we are trying to make here. I am putting it in a double quotes. Here, execute procedure Australia. In place of Australia, we have to take the country name variable. Why? Because every time dynamically the value is going to be changed. Now, single quote, double quote, plus plus, double quote, single quote, I am taking country name. Now, for first iteration, it is going to take the Australia. Why? Because by default, I have given the Australia. The second iteration, it will get the next country name like that. It is going to be iterated based on dynamically. The value is going to be taken here for the procedure. Now, I have SQL query variable that I am going to give to the OLDB source. For that, what I am going to do is I am taking data flow task. Inside data flow task, I am taking OLDB source. In OLDB source, what I am trying to do is the connection is established. It has taken the same connection, and here SQL command from variable. We are taking that variable now. Now the SQL query variable we are taking. If you preview the data, it has filtered for Australia now. For the first iteration, it is going to filter on Australia. In the next iteration, it will take the different values into it. Now we have to configure the destination. What we are trying to do is we are taking flat file destination. We are trying to create 6 different flat files based on each country. For that, we have to create a sample file for the first iteration in some location, in D files location. I am creating Australia.csv as a file. You can take text also, it's not a problem. I'm trying to take a delimited one. And I browse the thing, I'm just browsing CSV file. Here, and column names in the first data row. These are the different columns which are available. And coming to the mappings also fine. Now it is static. Why? Because only for the Australia file we have like configured. We have to make this flat file connection dynamic. For that, what we have to do, as we discussed in the previous classes many times, we have to get into the expressions and we have to take the connection string. Here in expressions, we have to make the expression. For that, first we have to take the folder path. This is the folder that we are going to create, and after that I am trying to make backslash. Here if you give the double backslash, it will take only one, and after that we are going to take the country name variable. For that, single quote, double quote, plus plus, double quote, single quote, in that country name, plus double quote dot CSV. Right, so we'll take this one. Here no need, no required. Yeah, no, there is no require. Here it is not an SQL query. That is why no need of giving this single quote, double quote thing here. We can take the country name. For the first iteration, it will take d files australia.csv. It will create the file name like this, australia.csv. For the second iteration, Canada, based on the different country names, it is going to create the different files. Now we have made the flat file connection also dynamic. Now I'm trying to execute the package now. The package got executed. Let us check the different files. Australia, Canada, France, Germany, United Kingdom and United States. These are the different files which are created by using a stored procedure. Here what we have done is we have created a stored procedure. Based on the stored procedure and input variables like input parameters, based on some of the variables created in the SSIS package level, we can create 6 different files based on the country name by using a stored procedure. This is how we can use a stored procedures in SSIS. I think you got some idea about using stored procedures in SSIS packages. Thank you.
Stay connected with GKey IT solutions on all your favorite platforms. Follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with all our latest content. Join the GKey community and grow your IT career with us.